Hi, everybody. So today is December 5th, 2025, which marks my official 10-year anniversary as a practicing lawyer. I passed the California bar in 2015, and our official swearing in ceremony was December 5th. So as of now, I've been practicing law officially for a decade. So I thought in this video I'd recap a little bit of what my career has been like over the last 10 years. So to start, I didn't have a job graduating law school. I had done a gig in the summer after law school at Fox Sports, hoping that there might be more temp gigs like that. But in the aftermath of passing the bar, I was just still looking for a job, applying literally everywhere, big firms, entertainment companies, everywhere I could. And eventually I decided to just open my own practice. I decided to double down on what it is I wanted to do, which was entertainment transactions. I went to the UCLA Career Services. They said, okay, here's the book. Like, they dusted it off the shelf and said how to start and grow your own law practice. So I did that. I started representing, some film students, friends of friends, people who were okay with a brand new lawyer helping them out. To help live and pay rent and things, I started working part-time for other solo practitioners. So some litigation, some contracts, but basically wherever I could to just get some part-time work. It was also kind of cool because I got to go to court because, when you're in a big firm, like most of my friends were doing litigation, you're not going to see the courtroom for several years. But because it was me and one other attorney, he did send me to court, sometimes even by myself, for kind of simple, smaller motions. But nonetheless, I felt like I was getting some pretty cool training, and I wasn't even going to do litigation with my career. I knew I always wanted to do contracts. But it was a good experience. Like I said, I really needed the financial help, so that was kind of my lifestyle. And then about a year or so in, I got a call from Fox Sports saying there's another temp gig available. Am I interested? And I jumped at it. I said yes. And I was there for about 7 months. And around that time was when Disney bought Fox. So, there was a lot of question marks as to, how that was going to work. So I kind of realized probably wasn't in the cards for me to get a permanent role at Fox. So I went back to running my own practice. My clients kind of started getting a little more consistent, a little bigger, but it was still pretty tough. And during all that, I started my podcast called May It Please the Court. If you haven't heard it yet, check it out. It's also on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you get your podcasts. And I found that, I had a passion for storytelling and talking about law. And, I spent a lot of time working on the podcast and representing, like I said, certain clients that I would meet through friends of friends, networking events. And, right when I kind of decided that a lot of my passion was in this more kind of creative work, I heard about this opportunity at Shepherd Mullen. A friend of mine talked to the person who's now my boss, and one thing led to another. And I was hired as an attorney in 2019 in the entertainment group at Shepherd Mullen. And so I knew, a lot of what it might be like. I knew big law from what my friends were doing. What was interesting is most of my friends had already done big law and left by then. They started big law in 2015, and a lot of them left after 2 or 3 years. So I was definitely the last one to start big law. And now, 6 years later, I'm still in big law. But it was really interesting because it was exactly the work I wanted to do, which was to do entertainment transactions. A lot of our work we do is with Amazon Studios, and in general, the whole entertainment industry in 2019, the vibe was go, go, go. Make content. We're launching streaming platforms. Disney Plus hadn't come out yet. Paramount Plus hadn't come out yet. Most of the streaming platforms didn't exist, and they wanted to build subscribers and get things rolling. So there was a lot of work to do, and I was made in charge of Disney TV animation, which was a big client for us as well. And so there I was, 2019, been practicing for 4 years, and I think that gave me a lot of confidence to make decisions and say, okay, well, this is my opinion, and it's a good one. And eventually, like I said, I started 2019 thinking, all right, this is how it's going to go. And then 6 months into the job, COVID hit. So there I was now, 6 months into my new big law job, doing work for Amazon and Disney and other entertainment clients. I was also early on the production lawyer for Selena the series, which is on Netflix. One of my first productions. A lot of the work I'd done before was development, so that was a really interesting experience that I got really early on at my career at Shepherd Mullen. And then, so COVID hits and everything is now remote. So now I'm back to working in my house. I had already kind of built that routine when I had my own firm. My dog was really happy about it. And so, started working remotely, doing the work we were doing, and the work continued to grow. Entertainment industry kind of kept chugging along because, there was a lot of uncertainty in the economy at that time, but people still wanted to develop scripts, people still wanted to attach writers, so we stayed pretty busy. And then that went on. Eventually, I became in charge of doing work for the Amazon unscripted slate, which was really fun, and continued to work with Disney, became in charge of our pro bono client, the LA Opera. So a lot of really exciting work to do. In 2022, I do remember it was kind of like that soft opening. People could go to the office, but as soon as they would go to the office, they'd be like, hey, there was a COVID exposure, so no one should come to the office. So during that time, I did a lot more traveling. I worked from everywhere I was going, so that was a fun time. And then in 2023, I made Variety's list of top entertainment lawyers up next, on like that up next list, which was really exciting. And then shortly after that, I saw an opportunity to move to Miami. So in 2023, I relocated to Miami, and I've been continuing my work there. I work remotely from Miami now. One of my colleagues also lives here. He just made partner, so now there's two of us here, so that's been really exciting. And now 2025, we're still doing a lot of great, exciting work, still working for Amazon, still making deals happen, still, got a lot of stories that I'm sure I'll talk about as these videos go on. But in this decade, it was approximately 4 years of solo work, one of which was at Fox Sports, and now 6 years doing big law. And even in big law, the work has evolved and changed. The clients have changed. The business has changed. And we'll talk a lot more about how the entertainment industry has changed in the last 5-6 years. But certainly it's been an interesting run. I've definitely aged to the full 10 years since law school. But overall, I'm quite happy with how it turned out. It's a lot of ups and downs. But December 5th, 2025, 10 years in, we made it. And looking forward to the next 10 years.